Alright, welcome back to Back Magoon's Best of Asia tournament for Age of Empires 4. We've got reall1992 versus Yuimetal here. With Yuimetal on the lower side of the map, Red Trunks Mali. With Real top side of the map, Orange Trunks Chinese today. Now, unfortunately I can't cast game 1 or 2 in the series because of Age of Empires 4's retarded replay system. But I'm going to cast 3 and 4, and then we're going to take a bit of a break. So our Mali player going up to, looks like he's going to go up to 6 houses. I tend to prefer the 4 house and, you know, age up in early stables style that I've seen Recon in particular play a lot, but I have seen some of the others play it. Playing with this 6 houses style seems to be slightly greedier. But it also seems to mean you've got to play off the back foot against a lot of civs. And I think, you know, there probably is a bit of a civ distinction people make between 4 and 6 house openings. I'm just too stupid to know it. But yeah, we're here, Lipany. Should be an interesting match. Frontside gold here for Yuimetal as well, so this will be nice for Real if he does want to play aggressively here. And the gold mine here for Real is still somewhat exposed. Like I was casting a game earlier between Low MT and Flash, where Low MT's gold mine was like right at the back of his base, and then on top of that, on one side, Flash basically had to come all the way around to like here to actually sneak in and harass it. So it made the man-at-arms rush that happened in the game happen extremely slow. So sometimes resource placements coupled with map features, like particularly on maps like Lipany, can really throw out, you know, how strong particular rushes are or particular greed builds on different maps are. You know, even beyond the matchup and the map itself, the seed can sometimes be somewhat make or break, I think. So Real's going to go on the mining camp. It's empowering there at the moment. He could probably just go and pick up 40 gold and then get back to empowering as well. I hate the idea of letting more than 40 build up, because what ends up happening is you end up with like 200 on there, and then you pick up 40 and you drop it back, and then it's just like an extra 160 sitting there, and you've got to wait. Like, how long is it? What's the cooldown? Does it actually tell you? Come on, man. You guys need a higher PF2K so we can get all the fucking information for every single mechanic in the game appearing here, because I've got no idea how long the cooldown is on the tax collection from a particular building. And the reason why I singled him out and said that is because he's the guy that makes sure every tooltip in Age of Empires Online tells you every single fact about every single mechanic. In fact, that game is where the Donso spear throw has come from, because it was first seen in the Age of Empires series on the Centurions for the Romans in AOEO, you know, which is a Project Celeste civilization. Anyway, enough about other Age of Empires games. We've got Yuimetal going for Mansa Quarry, and Real's already trying to harass one of these houses. Realistically, the pit mine is 1500 health for 150 wood, while these houses are 500 health for 25 wood. So in terms of resources per health, it's, you know, twice as effective to try and bring down the pit mine if you can bring it down, or if you can get it to the point where your opponent actually has to repair it as well. This is another factor, that this is costing Yuimetal gathering time and ultimately resources, because he's having to try and repair this house through the damage. He wouldn't have had to do it so quickly with the pit mine. And he's going to have access to warrior scouts, so these guys are like a mini raiding unit. Mini horsemen, basically. Because regular scouts will only do 2 damage in Age 2, and only 1 damage in Age 1, but Age 2 warrior scouts deal 9 damage. So Real not able to get a lot out of that other than denying a bit of gather time. And Yuimetal for now He's just going to chill and produce a few scouts. And look at trying to pressure Yuimetal, because for now Yuimetal going for Academy. So this is a nice macro landmark, but if he's going to want to get Song Dynasty, and as China, you always want to get Song Dynasty, he's going to have to try and defend the gold mine from these pesky buggers, so he can get his Barbican out and get that ramped up villager production time. And he may or may not decide to go with with a second town center. It's sort of up to him, I guess. 2 TC Song is a really nice boom, but it does slow down your castle age somewhat. Whereas 1 TC Song still gives you a fairly, like a semi-fast castle age, basically. Real going for archers. Going for the range, but probably opting to get Zhugnu over regular archers, just because they're so much more useful against, well, basically every unit that counters archers only soft counters Zhugnu, especially if you micro them well. But this will be rough for Real, because he's got the village over here, which isn't a bad idea because it could be potentially useful later on. It's outside town center range now, whereas if he had it over here, he'd have a lot easier time of defending it, or at least Yuimetal would have to engage from, the furthest point away from the town center on it. So Real's going to have to try and repair this village. I don't know if he's going to get there in time, so he's honestly just going to have to throw one up as quick as he can, because he will be population capped. So he's going to smash out that village. A little bit of idle time here, that's not great for him. He's going to want to get some of these guys on the gold, some back on the food. Oh, and Yuimetal. Dirty tactics here. He's going to be able to pinch all of these deer and bring them home. So, possibly more of an annoyance as a civ like Delhi or French, but even on Chinese, you are going to ultimately want that food later on. But yeah, Delhi, Rus and French in particular, early on, their food requirements, particularly because they play around a shitload of knights or horsemen, tends to mean that if you can steal a hunt, it's fucking huge, but on any civ other than Mali, you're not going to bother going with 7 scouts. At best, you're going to get 3. Usually, you're going to get just 1 or 2. So we've got a blacksmith now. Another range. Looks like just a massive Zhugnu while he tries to get a somewhat fast castle age behind this. Because again, with only warrior scouts and... oh, there are jab throwers. I was going to say, with only warrior scouts and even a couple of Sofa, it's not a bad fight with Zhugnu, but jab throwers as well should be a bit of a pest. They've got a lot of range, 6 tiles, and I think Zhugnu are only 3 or 4? 4.5. And then regular archers are only 5? But man, just listen to that. That's fucking powerful. Does anyone actually ever toggle this to generate stone? I rarely see it. Yuimetal's starting to accrue a bit of a bank here. So I do have to wonder if he's trying to get to Castle Age. Because if you can get Jab Thrower Veteran, Warrior Scout Veteran, and Sofa Veteran, it makes it very tough for Real just to sit on Zhugnu like he's intending to do so far, having gone up to 3 ranges. And I have to look at, weaving a mix of Zhugnu and Crossbowmen to really keep up of a ranged only composition. And, the longer this goes on and the further they get in the tech tree, the worse only fielding range units is going to get for Real here. Because Yuimetal be able to just keep getting upgrades on his mix composition. And basically the Sofa and the Jab Thrower are more or less designed to be hard counters to standard archer units. Well, his own archers, well, yeah, they've got 5 range, so they've got extra half a range over real Zhugnu, but they don't actually beat them in terms of like a one-to-one trade. Yuimetal able to just deny a bit of gathering time, and it looks like he's going to steal the other hunt now too. And meanwhile, Real is setting up to try and push him with the ram, because if he can knock back Yuimetal, it'd be huge. Yuimetal hasn't actually gone for that quick castle. He's had to dump a bit more food and gold into his Sofa. So these guys are going to be able to withstand the Zhugnu long enough to actually engage them in melee. Provide a bit of cover for these javelin throwers, whereas the scouts pretty much just get torn to shreds. Real just starting to chip away at the gold generation of the pit mine here. And on top of that, if he takes out the pit mine itself, it's going to mean Yuimetal is going to have to invest a lot of wood into this. And it will slow down that Castle Age or Sofa production. Real starting to pull ahead because he's got Song Dynasty in terms of the eco count, but I think this is a little bit deceiving in terms of like the overall pop gap. Because these Zhugnu, as handy as they are fighting against 2 of their counters with no real front line. So it's going to come down to how well Real can actually keep kiting here. Yuimetal. A couple of these jab throwers actually focusing the battering ram instead of the Zhugnu ball, which is not the greatest of fights for him. But now they're all engaging, and now it's looking really rough for Real. He's dropping in terms of military population, and Yuimetal has the more expensive units on the field. I think the Zhugnu, the Jab Thrower are pretty similar in terms of price. So you got a 60, 80, 80 versus, I think these guys might even be 90. No, 120. So all round, Yuimetal's composition is a lot more expensive than Real's here at the moment. Yuimetal able to save the pit mine, the last of the houses. So now it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle for Real, I think. He stuck around a bit longer than he needed to with the Zhugnu there. He possibly could have benefited with having the Horseman just that little bit earlier, because every time the Jab Throwers have to hit the Horseman, you know, you're missing out on almost 50% of their damage being done, because, you know, they're not getting any bonus damage against Horsemen. They will against the Zhugnu, who get no bonus damage against anything. They're just a giant pain in the ass at the back of the army that just puts a million holes in your units. So Yuimetal trying to wall himself off, keep things nice and safe here. Have to wonder what he's going to go here in Age 3. But military is looking really healthy for him, and a little rough for Real. But now with Horsemen to tank, it forces Yuimetal to bring the Jab Throwers forward to potentially be hit by them, while he focuses down all these Zhugnu. So the fight's going to go better for Real, but I think he's not really in an advantageous state like he would have been in the first trade if he had have, you know, snuck in some Horsemen earlier. So maybe going for 2 range than the stables, and then the range would have been better for him. Considering these Jab Throwers have really paid for themselves. And now, again, there's no front line here for Real, so he's having to retreat the safety of his town center. In fact, Yuimetal could... Oh, I was going to say there's another Horseman there, but he could probably get one more volley off if he wanted. Farimba Garrison on the way now. Really nice building for just batching, well, producing batches of any unit you like from barracks or range. So he can even get a bunch of Musafati warriors, although I don't know if he'd really want to against this sort of comp. Maybe just keep producing batches of Jav throwers. I just relieve having to produce any more ranges at this point. Just, you know, throw down a fuckload of stables. Looks like he's actually done that. 4 stables in total here for Yuimetal. Or Real creeping forward. And Vil counts are pretty neck and neck, which is not what you want to have happening as a player who's got faster villager train time. And on top of that, Yuimetal is able to afford a multi-market economic boom behind this. Yuimetal's just got to be careful that he doesn't engage the horsemen too much. Well, Real's not going to want to overextend with these horsemen, because if he loses them, then he's in a very sorry state. Trying to get what damage he can done to the houses, but he really needs to step back a little bit just to be able to do that safely. If he keeps bleeding too many of these Jugnu, he's going to have to retreat here, because he's still sitting in feudal age at this point and hasn't quite got that eco gap that he would like. Because really with villages that train, what is it, 33% faster? No, 25% faster. You know, you really want to be ahead by that much in terms of your villager count. On top of that, bunch of idlers here for Real. Things aren't looking great for him because he's got his main force over the other side of the map, and now he's marching straight into the sofa. So rough engagement for him here, and on top of that, Yuimetal denying a lot of gathering here. It's a couple of Jugnu, but I don't know if it'll be enough to take this down quickly. A couple of villagers going to fall, others having to retreat once again. Now Yuimetal's in a great spot to push out again, keeping things neck and neck with that villager count in spite of slower training villagers with all of his raiding. And even though he's slightly down on military pop, he's got a much more expensive army composition. And he's in the lead with these kill values, so it's looking rough for Real for the time being. Well, Yuimetal's going to look to snatch up some of these relics. Now, more villagers being exposed here. Second stable for Real, but is it going to be too little, too late? Yuimetal chopping down villagers and taking a villager lead at this point, which is really not where Real wants to be at the moment. Top of that trader production. Going to scale better into the late game, because eventually all the gold sources on the map will be mined out. It's a bit of a last stand here by the looks of things from Real, because he's just brought all of his villagers forward. He probably needs to get them over here or over here if he can, but I don't know if Yuimetal's going to give him the chance. With half of his economy idling and the number falling relative to Yuimetal's, it's definitely becoming more and more of an uphill battle for Real here. Real not able to get past 10 military population at this point, so Yuimetal snatching up 3 relics, pretty much uncontested at this point because he's pushing so aggressively. Real has no map presence at all, and he's really struggling to get even wood that he needs to get his Jugnu production going. So with more units coming in from Yuimetal, Real decides enough is enough. I'm going to try my luck next game.